And we are live. Sunday Service, episode number 26. It's going to be a great one. Last night was spectacular, boys. That main event had me on another stratosphere of high. Okay, boys? This main event was looked at as kind of a gimme for Pereira. But we, at the same time, we all knew it would not be a gimme because we know what Khalil Roundtree represents. And we showed it last night against Alex Pereira. Main event, awesome. Rest of the card, that main event saved that card. Without that main event, that card would be looked at as one of the worst of the year just because we had all the bad decisions. We had an injury. We had a ton of decisions for one. We had a bunch of split decisions, which caused a bunch of controversy, which we will talk about. And overall, it just really wasn't, getting the juices flowing. But to end the night the way it did, holy, I'm trying not to swear in the first 5 minutes of this stream so that maybe you can get monetized. We'll see. But boys, last night was sick. Last night was sick. People popping in the chat. What up, Jay on X? What up, Chef? Jewish Better, my boy JB. I got to shout out my boy JB because he put out his JB special on X, on Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I think it was Court McGee submission and Ryan Spann round one submission. I don't remember the odds, but the odds were insane, and that shit smacked. There I go. I just swore. It's getting demonetized, so we're out of here. But that smacked, and I'm pissed because I couldn't tail it because the Hard Rock was on some BS. I don't know why they wouldn't let me tail it. They weren't allowing people to parlay props from the McGee fight and the OSP Spann fight. I don't know why, but I would have been down to ride. And I would have made some money with my boy JB. So shout out to him. Vic Ross in the chat. What's going on? IG chat's popping off. Appreciate y'all for joining me tonight on Sunday Service because, boys, I might be going in on a couple of things because the decisions were disgusting. I was on the opposite side of all of them. So personally, I lost some money on them. But at the same time, I will give some arguments as to what could be done, what could have been done by the fighters in that could have made it a little bit easier on the judges. But the judges, for one, were discussing last night. Dana White said it himself. Cost some people money, making some people money. Sometimes you're on the right side, sometimes you're on the wrong side, but that's how the game goes. Aldo got robbed. Should we just talk about that right off the bat, boys? Do I think Wonder Boy was an early stoppage? Hell no. Wonder Boy was slumped, boys. Wonder Boy was slumped. I don't think he got up for like a good 60 seconds after that. Not an early stoppage by any means. Let's talk about the Aldo robbery, okay? There's a lot of problems that goes on here with this decision, and it all comes down to, one, the judging scoring criteria, number two, the judging consistency, and number three, Jose Aldo's just absolute lack of awareness. Okay, number three is last because I think it's least important. Let's start with number three. Jose Aldo is a Hall of Famer in the UFC. What is he doing just allowing Mario Batista to stall him up against the cage? You would think a Hall of Famer would know. If you're being stalled up against the cage, it's probably not the best look for the judges. Okay? Batista's not taking you down. You stuffed every shot. To me, it looked like Aldo was like waiting for him to just give up on the takedown. And then they could go back to striking. But Batista is not going to give up on the takedown because he knows he's safe here stalling up against the cage. And he's not safe if they're out there striking. So I think Aldo is kind of part of the blame for that decision. But at the same time, he still should have won round three. He should have won round three because you can't get scored. You can't score that stalling up against the cage. He's not landing any shots. He's literally just holding him up against the cage, not doing anything. So that's not scoring anything. And the damage aspect of it, if you look At the third round, Aldo definitely landed the better shots, landed more shots to the head. So Aldo did the more damage in the third round. So there's no reason why the judge should not give Jose Aldo a 10-9 in round 3. But God, Aldo, come on. You're a Hall of Famer. How do you not know this? You've actually been in this same spot against Merab Dvalishvili. How do you not know that you should probably get your back off the cage, circle off, and not be in that position? So number one, I'm like, Aldo, you shot yourself in the foot by just accepting this position. I know you're not taking damage. I know you're not getting taken down, and nothing's happening. But if nothing's happening, then that means you're not doing damage too. So Aldo, you're dumb. Judges, no consistency whatsoever. One fight, they'll favor the guy that's stalling up against the cage, not getting takedowns, failing takedowns. The next fight, they'll favor the person that landed a couple shots against the guy that's shooting takedowns. So one fight, they'll go with the damage. They'll go with the striker. The next fight, they'll go with the grappler, the guy that's failing takedowns, or the guy that gets a takedown, that lays on him on top. So there's just no consistency whatsoever. So we don't know what the hell they're going to score. And I say this on a week-to-week basis. If you watch my short-form videos, or even my long-form videos on YouTube, I'm like, yeah, it probably goes to decision. And then it's up to the judges, because the 3 knuckleheads that are judging, it's going to be the same fucking Sal D'Amato, Chris Lee, Mike Bell, whoever the fuck they are. They're going to give whatever the fuck they want, because at the end of the day, they can pick and choose what they're going to score for that fight. So we don't really know. You'd want to know going into a fight, what are the judges going to score? Okay, they have the judges scoring criteria, but they don't always go off of it. They're just going to choose, all right, this fight I'm going to favor the grappler. This fight I'm going to favor the striker. And, maybe I'll favor the striker or the grappler in different rounds. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they're going to give it a 10-9, whatever the way they want it to be. So I don't know why they decided to reward the guy that was stalling. Kind of a dumb move. Because nobody's going to like that, for one. Number two, it's not even part of the judging scoring criteria where you should reward someone for stalling. Ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous. Pennington got robbed. Here's the thing. I think Pennington should have won. But at the same time, I think it was pretty clear rounds 2 and 3 for Pena. Pretty clear rounds 4 and 5 for Pennington. And it came down to round 1. And we were streaming on Maddie's channel. And at the end of the round 1, I'm like, I think it's probably Pennington. I think Pennington landed the better shots. But it's kind of a toss-up round. So that one, I still think Pennington should have won. And you can even add in the aspect of, like, you got to beat the champ, or you gotta make it clear. You got to beat the champ to, like, get your score on that card. But, I think that was a pretty close round 1. I mean, Juliana landed a little bit more volume, but at the same time, like, Pennington cracked her with a couple shots that I think are way more impactful than any of the shots that Pena landed in round 1. So it really just comes down to round 1 and what do you favor? Personally, I'd favor Raquel Pennington, but they didn't. So, do you think this card was one of the worst cards so far in 2024? Without that main event, it could have been really bad. The main event just, let me tell you this. When I'm watching the fights, I got bets on them. And when I'm losing 3 split decisions, I was pissed. I was literally on the edge of, like, raging hard. Because I lost 3 split decisions. Kevin Holland got injured. So 3 split decisions and an injury. And then my DFS plays, 2 stat corrections, took a win to a loss. So I was on the brink of rage. Okay. And the card overall was just not that good. And then we get to the main event. And I'm still kind of ragey. Okay. But when I was watching that fight, boys, I was watching Pereira and Roundtree just go at it. Edge of my seat. Any punch that lands could knock each other out. And slowly throughout the fight, we'll start from the beginning of the fight. You see Roundtree looking sharp, looking fast, tagging Pereira. wins the first 2 rounds, and slowly throughout the rest of the fight, Pereira just breaking him down with the jab, the low kicks, just straight up boxing his head off. Khalil's just trying to fight through it. He's got blood dripping everywhere. His face is unrecognizable. I was in awe, boys. Nothing else mattered than what was going on in that TV. That is what makes a great fight. That's what makes the UFC, watching the UFC as a fan, that's the experience that we all love. And when Pereira landed that body uppercut, Khalil goes down, covered in blood. Pereira's tired. He's got all these injuries. He's sick, but he still managed to fight through the early adversity and break the man in front of him. That shit was sick, boys. I was on cloud 9. Just from a fan perspective. From a fan perspective, I was like, holy shit, that was a great fight. Those are type of fights we don't see at that high level very often. You might see it on the prelims, 2 guys duking it out, an absolute war. But at that high level, championship caliber fight with a champ and a contender that's just going out there, leaving it all on the table. No takedowns, no cage control, not even a thought about a knee to the thigh. That's what we live for as fans. Okay? That was probably the best main event of the year, honestly. OSP got robbed. Damn right he got robbed. Pennington parlay should have hit, boys. It really should have. Terrible look for Bautista. Guru put a 10K bounty on Bautista's head. He said next one to KO him in the cage gets 10 large. I saw that on Twitter. Trevin Jones would like to cash in that 10K. So if Guru's really pissed about Bautista, I know I am. If he's really pissed about it, he can go watch Trevin Jones sleep him on Fight Pass on repeat. Is Bautista in the UFC video game? If he's in the UFC video game, why hasn't anybody gone in there and just beat the shit out of him already? Preying on Bautista's downfall. Okay. Here's the thing. Like, I don't want to just bash the guy, but at the same time, you got to tell it how it is, man. Like, you shouldn't be sending him death threats and stuff. Like, that's lame as hell. Don't even direct message him. Stupid. But at the same time, you have to tell him the truth. The truth is, nobody wants to watch that. That's not going to be good for your career. Cool, you picked up a win. Awesome. Awesome, man. You picked up a win. You got the second half of your check. That's awesome. But what's that going to do for your career? You got to think about the longevity. Longevity of your career. If you want to actually make money in this sport, you got to be able to give the fans an experience that they're going to remember, that they're going to want to watch your next fight. Because look at Kevin Holland, boys. Kevin Holland fights all the time. Doesn't care if he wins or loses, but he makes bank. He makes bank. He went out there. He lost to Roman Dolidze, got injured. At the end of the day, he's making 5, maybe 10, maybe 20 times the money Mario Bautista's making. Don't you want to feed your family? You're looking at the short term. The short term of, all right, I'll get my second check if I just stall up against the cage and I hold on to Jose Aldo. Okay, that's cool. But at the press conference, you were saying we were going to leave each other in blood. I was going to get my hand raised just covered in blood. There's going to be an all-out war. Didn't happen. Okay, you also can't make promises that you can't follow through with. So all that talk by Mario Bautista, at the end of the day, at the end of the fight, he was holding on for dear life. Cool, you got your second check. But to tell it to you straight, bro, not a good look. Not a good look whatsoever. How about that ref? Yeah, that ref in the Pereira Almeida fight was terrible. Terrible. I don't know how the UFC still allows these rookie refs to just come in, when they're in a new a state, and they'll just allow this rookie to come in. Dude, there's people's jobs are on the line here. Pereira is getting his eyes literally fingered out of their sockets, getting hit in the nuts. He's trying to do everything he can to stay in the fight. If we had that ref, I wish that ref was in the cage for fucking Bautista and Aldo. That ref was not allowing any stalling. So props to that ref. Now, I would say you got to allow it, maybe 10 seconds, maybe 20 seconds. The dude was literally allowing like 5 seconds of stalling up against the cage. It's not really stalling unless it's for an extended period of time, okay? Portieria pushed him up against the cage. He was there for about 3 seconds. And he's like, nah, break it up. Dude definitely had Almeida in all of his parlays. Maybe he had the house on Almeida. He was like, I'm making sure Almeida does not lose this fight. And honestly, considering the guy that was his first UFC reffing experience, is that out of the realm? Okay, is that out of the realm that he's like, all right, I'm going to be reffing Cesar Almeida. I'm going to tell all my buddies, I'm going to throw a bunch of money on Cesar Almeida because I'm going to make sure he wins that fight. Kind of looked like it. Commentators, Cormier and Rogan also impacted the judges. Keep that in mind. Probably wouldn't have been the same. Cormier is a big time Aldo hater. I wasn't really listening too closely, to be honest. But I thought Rogan thought that Aldo won. Do you think they took that ref out back? Maybe. It has to be, bro. Vegas got to be controlling something. Because I know Aldo was a pretty public bet. I just got to throw this out here. Kayla Harrison will finish Juliana Pena exactly in the 3rd minute of the very first round after Juliana thinks she can beat her on the ground and Kayla kills her. I don't know if it'd be the first round, but I could see it. What do I like better? Flex or standard pays? Standard. I don't think flex is worth it. Pennington won that fight, man. Every media outlet said 48-47. Yeah, I also saw that. I mean, I would agree. But round 1 was fairly close, so. Worst card for sure. A lot of near retirement fighters. Yeah, bro. I don't understand why there were so many old people. You got Court McGee, Tim Means. They're both 40. You got Wonder Boy's 41. OSP's 41 or 42. Marina Rodriguez is like 37. Aldo's got to be 50 in reality. Fucking Dolidze's 36. Pereira 37. Like, come on. Why are we throwing these oldies on an altitude card? I think Pereira should take out Rakic, Ankalaev, and rematch Jan, then go up to heavyweight just to cement his legacy over the division. Brother, I'm down. I am so down. He is carrying the UFC. That's fact. That is facts. Top contenders, Khalil should have never gotten a shot. I mean, I'm glad he got a shot, to be honest. Bautista got to stand. You can win and still end up like Makaev. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Look at Makaev, undefeated in the UFC. It's fucking cut. Had a 12-pick all-fight moneyline parlay. Hubbard, Aldo, and Pennington were the only ones that misses. Oh, God. That's disgusting, bro. That's disgusting. Oh, God. That's absurd. That hurt my soul right there. That ref literally offered Ihor water mid-fight. Yeah, I heard that. I was like, you can't really give him water. I think maybe like help with his eye. Maybe. I don't know. Marina Rodriguez should have won. I don't know. I'm trying to think back to like what rounds. She won round 1, but I think Lucinda won round 2, 3. Yeah, 4 close fights. It's ridiculous, bro. Khalil's walkout was sick. Here's the thing, boys. Nobody really talked about it. But Khalil Rountree's 5-fight win streak was all at the apex. All at the apex. Not a single fight was in front of a live crowd. That was his first time fighting in front of a live crowd in a long time. Biggest spot. Pay-per-view main event against Pereira, the sport's biggest star right now that's active. I got to believe that dude, part of him gassing out, yes, it was the elevation. Yes, Khalil doesn't have the best gas tank. But, bro, that moment is huge. That's a huge moment for a guy that hasn't experienced it in a while. So I think that definitely played a little bit of a factor. Could Ronda come back and beat Pena because Juliana is so shit? I don't know. Ronda, I don't think Ronda could, honestly. I don't really think she cares. Tim Means and OSP need life. Bro, how about fucking Tim Means tap into a choke that like wasn't even in? And OSP, as soon as he shot that takedown, I'm like, it's over, bro. It's over. You think John Jones is scared to fight Tommy? And do you think he'll retire after the Stipe fight? I don't want to say he's scared, but I want to say that he's just like, it's a risk he doesn't want to take. Like, it's obviously a huge risk. Tom Aspinall is a fucking stud. He finishes everybody in the first round. And John Jones is used to going up against guys that he has an advantage against. Where's the advantage against Tom Aspinall? Tom Aspinall is a good wrestler, good grappler, knockout power. He's the most dangerous guy that John Jones would have ever faced. So I don't think that's a risk that he wants to take. Is he scared? I'd probably say no, but at the same time, he just doesn't want to risk his legacy at this point to go in there and lose when he could fight an older guy like Stipe and then retire. Be like, I beat the best heavyweight of all time. Cool, bro. Timing is a thing that matters. Roundtree was a little late stoppage. What do you think? I don't think it was a late stoppage. Nah, I don't think it was a late stoppage. It was a beatdown for the last 2 to 3 minutes, but Khalil was trying to do his best just to stay in it, man. He was moving backwards. He was covering up. He had the high guard. He was getting hit with shots, but it wasn't, once it was to the point where he went down, then yeah, you got to call it. But he didn't go down. I mean, he took his shots and kept moving. I think that was a great stoppage by Goddard. You got to let him go down. Okay, you got to let him fight as hard as he can. Once he goes down, then you can call it. In a close decision fight, shouldn't they just give the advantage to the champ as the contender should put more work in? That's a theory, but it's not, I don't know if it's really a thing, and I don't really know that I agree with it, but it is a kind of a theory. You need to dominate the champ if you want to be the champ. Yeah, exactly. And also, do you think that they should change the judges to past fighters or people that have background in MMA? All right, Randy. So they do have some fighters that are some judges that are past fighters. They still give some wild scorecards. Just saying. Yeah, bro. It's not really I don't know. I don't know what they need to do with the judges. Honestly, I think they just need to add 2 more judges. Why not just have 5 judges? Then you get 5 opinions instead of 3. Add some more opinions. You might get more results that are accurate. Or look into these motherfuckers' bank accounts and see what they've been up to. Okay? See what they've been up to. It's very, very sketchy scorecards going around nowadays. Okay? Especially with those splits. Those splits where the guy that you think won did win, but there's a wild scorecard on the other side. You still got to think about those. I know it just doesn't change the result. Some of those are pretty wild. What's your thought on Jamal Hill acting like it was a boring fight? I don't know what the fuck Jamal Hill thought he was doing, thinking it was a boring fight. Bro, I honestly don't know what the guy was thinking. That was probably the stupidest thing he could have done. Be like, oh, it was a boring fight. I'm going to fall asleep. Bro, you know Pereira fucking slept you. You know he's going to get asked about that, and you know he's going to talk about him sleeping you. Stupid move by Jamal to do that, and it honestly just like made him look stupid. It just made him look like, okay, what? You fucking, are you dumb in the brain? Like, it was obviously a great fight. But maybe that was his plan. Maybe that was his plan to play the heel and do something stupid so that he gets in the news. I don't know. Could have been. Yeah, it was a perfect stoppage. I agree. Only problem with Tom is his chin up in the air when he throws hooks and straights. Well, let me tell you this, Slips. When was the last time John Jones knocked anybody out with his fists? You can't tell me. John Jones ain't knocking nobody out. Okay? If anybody's going to knock out Tom Aspinall, it would have been Sergey Pavlovich. And he took a shot from Sergey Pavlovich with that chin up. I'm not disagreeing with you. Tom does kind of leave his chin up. Not a good look. But he took a shot from Pavlovich and he looked fine. So John Jones ain't got the power of those dudes at heavyweight either. And if he knocks out Stipe, it's because Stipe is fucking 50 years old. Okay. And just got flatlined by Ngannou like 3 years ago. So I don't think his chin's getting any better. Slamming Carlos Prates against Randy Brown, Fighting Nerds Forever. Can't argue with that, brother. Can't argue with that. I think the judges' problem can be fixed by adding 2 or 4 more judges. Yeah, I think they should go to 5. What's your comment to those that bet on Roundtree? I mean, I wouldn't say it was like a bad bet by any means. I mean, he won the first 2 rounds. He looked sharp. The thing is, Pereira is just a better striker. So if you're going to bet on Roundtree, cool. I mean, he was like a plus 350 dog. He looked like he was the favorite in the first 2 rounds. He won them. I don't think that's a bad bet. Over the long term, you'll probably do well. So it's not a bad bet if you bet on Roundtree. It just it lost, and it might feel like is a bad bet. But I'd probably say it was a good bet to bet on Roundtree at those odds because he did look good. But as a 5-rounder, Pereira's got more experience in every round, and eventually he did take over. I thought he probably would take over eventually. And the thing is, at 205, Pereira's chin's just way better. Like, we have seen Pereira get slumped out cold. So there's always that thought in the back of your mind to be like, oh, this guy's dangerous. Like, Khalil's dangerous. He hits hard and he's fast. If he lands, it could put Pereira out. And that's true. But at 205, Pereira's chin is just a lot better, way better than at 185. 185, he's literally on death's door trying to make the weight, and he just can't take a punch because he's so drained. At 205, he's filled out. His brain's got all that juice that it needs to take a punch, and he took some punches last night, and I was surprised just to see him not really react to it too much. So at 205, man, we can't really, rely on Pereira just to have a bad chin. At 185, when Adesanya knocked him out, dude was on death's door. So do you think Mike Bell is corrupt? He was behind 3 of the split decisions. I mean, I think a lot of the fucking judges are corrupt. There's got to be something up, man. But the 3 splits that you're referring to, I believe, were the Pena. He scored it for Pena, for Bautista, and that's the only one I'm seeing. Pena and Batista. I got the scorecards up on my other screen. Yeah, he scored the fight for Pena and Batista. Mike Bell might need to get his walk-in papers, honestly. Past fighters would make the worst judges because, yeah, it's true. That is also true, Toad. They'd be very biased. There's a fighter, Chris Lieben, who is a judge. And I think I remember, this was like a year ago. He made his judging debut in the UFC. And there was like a split decision in the first fight of the night where clearly one side did not win, but he scored it for that win, for them to win. And everybody's just like, yeah, maybe having fighters or past fighters as judges is not the most smart thing to do because it didn't look good then. They should judge championship rounds heavier because the story of the fight is important. Like winning the later rounds is more impressive overall. Yeah, I don't know how you do that. I like the idea, but I don't know how you would even do that. And that is the case. When we get a lot of these like robbery decisions or where one fighter lost to what everybody thinks they should have won, it's usually because they win the later rounds. And that's like the last impression that we have going into the decision. Should be like, oh, that person won because I just saw them win the last 2 rounds. They should win the fight. I don't know. I don't really know how you would be able to do that, to be honest. The thing is, why isn't Dana overseeing these judges' resumes? I don't know that Dana really controls it. It's the athletic commissions. I think maybe they can request who not to have or something like that, but I don't know that he really gets a choice. Yeah, I lost some respect for him. I'm not going to lie either. Judging is a promotional tool. It adds variance, excitement. If they wanted to reduce the variance, they could include more judges. They don't cause. It is part of the show. Maybe it could be, honestly. Maybe we're onto something there, but decision bet is a no-no for me. Yeah, bro. This is the problem. I don't really like betting on money lines, but I still do it because it's just like you go 15 minutes, you get to the decision, and at the end of the day, your bet is in the hands of the judges, like whatever they're going to score. So honestly, it's tough. It's tough, man. But also, I bet Dana loves it. If it's a robbery, he's talked about a lot, and can force rematches and rivalries, makes Dana's bank account go up. Possibly. I don't know. I don't know how much it really affects it. No hate, you ride Tom Aspinall meat too hard. That's fine, brother. That's fine. You can't give anybody props anymore, and you're just meat riding them, I guess. Jones KO'd Parker Porter. People forget, man. People forget, man. Jones KO'd Parker Porter. Who has it? Alex was trying to get Khalil to waste his tank and then to kill. Yeah, that's true. If Almeida was reffing the Aldo fight, dude, I'm telling you, bro, that would have been perfect. Every ref is a paid actor. Every judge is controlled. Every doctor is hired carefully. That's facts. They probably should. They probably should be worth more. I just don't know how you would do that. Give them like 11, 11-9. Just be stupid. It seems like it's always the favorites or the public dogs that get the nod on the decisions. Judges are squares. We got to look at those bank statements. I feel like it'd be the opposite, bro. I feel like it'd be like everybody's on, because like a lot of people were betting Jose Aldo as an underdog. And he should have won. But he didn't. Not a lot of people bet Mario Batista. He should have lost. But he won. It's kind of a Vegas call. I'm convinced Vegas and casinos get on a phone call anytime fights go to decisions, and they give it to whoever gives them more money. It's kind of what I just said, but I'm kind of with you, man. It almost seems like it. The Hood is 0-5 this year in title fights. So who is that? Jamal? Leon? Adesanya? Khalil? Who else? Who am I forgetting? Who's the 5? Let me know. You just don't see John Jones getting manhandled by Aspinall. Everyone said the same about Gon, and he walked him down like nothing. Bro, here we go. Why are we going to bring this up, JR? Okay, we're talking about Pereira and Roundtree. Why we got to bring this up? And not everyone said that about Gon. Personally, I bet on John Jones in that fight because I knew Gon didn't have any ground game. The thing is, Aspinall has a ground game, bro. And on the feet, Aspinall way more dangerous than Gon. Gon's kind of a point fighter at heavyweight. Aspinall finishes dudes in a minute. Pause. No diddy. The Aldo fight ruined everyone's parlay. I knew it was smart to avoid that fight. Yeah, that's facts. You think UFC cuts Wonderboy 1-4 in his last 5 and he's on a huge contract? I doubt it. I doubt it. People would rage if the UFC cut Wonderboy. But maybe if Wonderboy wants to just do karate combat or something like that, then it would be okay. But I just don't think UFC is going to cut him. Topuria or Max, I hate to say, I think Max could get KO'd. Brother, he's getting KO'd. Topuria's KOing Max Holloway. Okay? You can come back to this, but he's going to KO Max Holloway. Even if he doesn't, he's going to beat Max. Blades. What do you think the most important part of the fight should be judged on? More like, for example, control time, damage, knockdown, significant strikes, shots stuffed, if that makes sense. Well, right now, I mean, it's supposed to be judged on damage, and I think that's the correct scoring criteria. It should be judged on damage. If you get taken down for 3 minutes of the fight, they don't really land much damage. You get back up to your feet, you land some big shots, maybe cut them open, beat up their leg, then you win that fight or that round. But damage, 100%. You still don't see Aspinall walking down Jones. It'll be a tough fight for sure. MMA Guru doing God's work. Put 10K on the next fighter to KO Batista. Oh, you know what? If it was like whoever he fights in his next fight, if he's the favorite and I can get underdog odds on his next opponent, I'll put like $1,000 on Bautista. I'll put $1,000 on whoever Bautista fights next, and I'll give the winnings to the guy if he knocks him out. I'll put $1,000 on him by KO, and if they win by KO, I'll give him the money. What do you think is the best UFC fight of all time? It's just too broad, bro. I'm just thinking about last night. Last night was insane. Come on, bro. Max wins. Illy got dropped by Jai fucking Herbert, bro. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here. Max has the chin and cardio and experience advantage. Go ahead and bet Max Holloway then. See how it works out for you, okay? You don't know who Ilia Topuria is. You don't know. I feel sorry for you, bro. I really do. Because if you haven't figured out who Ilia Topuria is yet, whatever date that is, what is it, October 24th, 26th? Late October, when he fights Max Holloway, you're going to find out who Ilia Topuria is. I'm sorry, bud. I really hate to bust your dreams, everything you know about UFC, about Max Holloway. I'm sorry. But he's going to put him out cold. He's going to. It's just written in the plans, bro. Abu Dhabi. October 26th, I think it is. He's going out. I hate to say it, man. Max Holloway made me a lot of money his last fight. But Topuria, he's that dude. I really hate to like burst your bubble. So you can keep thinking that. But, you know, late October, you're going to find out. You're going to find out. But what if you get headbutted and it cuts you open like the Sean DDP fight? I think the ref should be doing the judging, in my opinion. He's the closest and can see everything better. There's no way you'd be able to ref a fight and score it at the same time. There's just no way. They'll be asking way too much from the refs. And if you get headbutted by it and it cuts you, I think technically the ref is supposed to tell the judges that the cut was caused by a headbutt. But at the same time, like, it just fucks you. At the same time, it just kind of fucks you. If you get cut with a headbutt, you're kind of fucked. I actually think that's kind of what happened in the Rodriguez Lucindo fight. I think it was a headbutt that cut Rodriguez, and I think it honestly lost her the fight. Oh, I'm not offended. I'm not offended, man. Not offended whatsoever. I should create an MMA podcast with a number MMA influencer. Well, brother, I think we got something in the works. Something in the works could be coming out fairly soon. And it will be a great, great show. An interactive show. Just stay tuned, boys. We got something cooking. People do forget Ilya has a nasty ground game. That is facts. These Max fans don't know how knockouts work. If you get hit clean by a shot you don't see coming, you'll go out. Thank you, Mr. Toad. Thank you. Thank you. I know Max Holloway has a great chin. There's no doubt about that. Dude's been hit a lot. Let's just say that. If Holloway is anywhere as sharp as he was against Gaethje, he wins easily. Come on, bro. Come on. It's not apples to apples. Okay, Gaethje is not Topuria. Gaethje is a guy that's he gets hit all the time. All the time. Terrible striking defense. Gets hit with like over 6, maybe even 7 significant strikes per minute. Gaethje is not Topuria. Gaethje is a guy that stands there, takes the damage, and just throws. There's no setups. There's no feel out from the outside. There's no in and out movement. It's just a standing punching bag that throws back. And he hits hard. Topuria is different, bro. He's just different. What's next for Khalil? Also, does Alex stay at light heavyweight or move to heavyweight? Great question, Aaron Stark. Let's talk about the title of the live, boys. Pereira has surpassed Khabib Nurmagomedov. Right now, if he hadn't surpassed him yet, I think he might be the best champion in UFC history. And when I say champion, I mean the people's champion. This dude has 3 title defenses in less than 3. No, it's not 3 months. 3 title defenses in less than 6 months. 3 wins against the best in the world. 2 of them, former champions. Less than 6 months. You know how many title defenses Khabib has? 3. You know how long it took him to get 3 title defenses? 4 years! We got what Khabib did in 4 years in just 6 months from Alex Pereira. Fighting through injuries. Multiple times. Fighting through sickness. Doesn't matter. We need a pay-per-view headliner for UFC 300. Going to be one of the biggest cards in UFC history. Call Alex Pereira. McGregor pulls out. We need somebody to step in to give us a main event that people want to see. Pereira steps up. We're back in Salt Lake City, Utah, where UFC has put on some of the best shows. We don't want to give them Raquel Pennington, Juliana Pena main event. We need someone to step up. There's nobody available. Alex, I know you just fought in June, at the end of June. Actually, no, early July. We know you just fought in early July, but could you step up and fight again in early October to save this card? Because Salt Lake City had some of the best cards. We need somebody to step in. Pereira says yes. Pereira's like, who's the opponent? Well, we're actually going to give you a guy who's dangerous as shit. But if you beat him, he's only ranked number 8. It's not really going to do anything for your career. Don't matter. Even though he's injured, he's sick. He just fought twice already this year. It's going to be the quickest 3 title defenses in UFC history. Pereira says, sure. Goes out there and fucking breaks him. That's some shit you ain't ever going to see from Khabib Nurmagomedov. Some shit you ain't ever going to see from a John Jones. Even a GSP. That's why Alex Pereira is the best champion in UFC history. Anytime, anywhere, anyone, he gets it done. He'll save the fucking day. And when he saves the day, he ain't going to go out there and play it safe. He ain't going to go out there against some bum. He's going to go out there against some dangerous fucking guys who are ex-champions who could put your lights out at any moment. And he goes out there and bangs it out and fucking demolishes his opponents. That's why he's the best fucking champion in the UFC. Ever. Name a champion that's done that. Shama. And not only that, he ain't going to speak a lick of English. He don't even know how to fucking speak English. But people still love him. The only reason they love him, because he fights all the time. And he puts on exciting fights. You don't even need to promote himself. Dude could literally just stare at you. And people fucking love it. That's why he's the best. I ain't doing fucking tricks on it, bro. I ain't doing tricks on it. I'm giving the man his props. He must be a brother. Hopefully that didn't just screech in your ear. Sorry. What do you think? Who do you think can beat Islam Makhachev in the UFC? Or does he retire with the belt? I don't know if there's anybody that can beat Islam. Not going to lie. Who you got? Pereira versus Ankalaev. Assuming he beats Rakic. Also, if feel like it, it'll just be... You feel like it'll just be straight striking. Ankalaev is a striker and an MMA career has never subbed someone. Let me know your thoughts. Yeah, let me know in the chat what you guys think. If you think Ankalaev beats Pereira. Personally, I would probably take Pereira. But Ankalaev is a good striker. And he really only uses his wrestling as like a last resort. So I think he probably would strike with Pereira unless he starts to lose, and then he would probably wrestle. Kind of like he did against Jan Blachowicz. I mean, Jan Blachowicz beat the piss out of him for the first couple rounds, and then he started going for takedowns, and then it went to a draw. If you watch that Jan Blachowicz fight with Ankalaev can't strike with Pereira, bro. Not a chance. So give me Pereira, bro. Give me Pereira. The takedown threat would be a big deal, though. I do kind of agree with you there, Toad. The takedown threat is just, it's such a mind fuck because like it just automatically makes you a better striker. If you could shoot a takedown, if you have the wrestling in your bag, your striking is going to look better against an elite striker than it would if you didn't have a takedown threat. You could have the same striking, no takedown threat, but once you add in the takedown threat, it just makes you a better striker because the guy's worried about getting taken down. You can land more up top, and you're probably not using a ton of like body kicks in general because you can catch them and drag them down. So, yeah. I mean, Ankalaev definitely has a chance, no doubt about it. But, bro, Pereira at 205? Come on now. Fucking stud. Could Topuria go up a weight class and beat Islam? Bro, I would love to see that if he beats Max, which I think he will. I would love to see that, but I don't know. I don't think so. I don't really think so. I mean, he's not the biggest dude. He's like, what, 5'7"? 5'8"? 5'8"? He's probably like 5'8". Islam's 6 foot. Big as shit. I think it would be a big weight advantage for Islam there. I think if Alex beats the winner of Rakic versus Ank, where do you put him on the GOAT status? I think he's already up there, to be honest, bro. As you look at former champions that he's beaten, title defenses, 2 weight division champ, I think he's already up there. And I don't even know that like a win over Rakic or Ankalaev would really like be like, oh yeah, now he's the fucking GOAT. You know, like, yeah, it's another win, but neither of those guys are champions. They're good contenders, no doubt about it. But does it really add to be like, oh my God, now he's the fucking GOAT? He's up there already. I think Ankalaev is just going to look for the easiest path to victory. You don't want to take calf kicks from Alex. Yeah, I think that's probably what would happen. Alex would start kicking his leg, and he'd be like, fuck, I got to get you down or I'm fucked. And then he would just crotch stiff him. But maybe that Alex Pereira sub could come through in there. I doubt it. Olberg versus Volkan. Who you got? I've always been a big Uzdemir guy. I like Uzdemir. But I think Carlos Ulberg is just a little too fast, honestly. So I'd probably lean Ulberg. Chris Barnett is plus 275 against Junior Tafa. I'm locking it in before the line moves. I don't know that it's going to move, brother. Not going to lie. You might be better off just waiting. Chris Barnett is pretty shit. All due respect to Chris Barnett, but he's bottom of the barrel. You know, Tafa's not that great either, but, you know. What's all this talk about Ankalaev being a threat on the ground? He has no subs in his MMA career. We're not really talking about the subs. We're just talking about getting him down to the ground and stalling on the ground. It's not really about him getting subbed. Do you think with how active Alex is, do you think it will eventually backfire? Well, if it was going to backfire, it would have been last night. It didn't backfire, and it now sounds like he's going to take some time off. That could mean anything. That could mean like 4 or 5 months for him. Realistically, I think he probably comes back in like March or April of next year. So, I mean, it's really not that far off, but eventually it would backfire, and if it did, it would probably been last night. So, who do you think was the easiest bet of the year? The easiest bet of the year? Probably fucking Peyton Talbot and Giannis Gamori. Starched him in what, 10 seconds? Please don't hope on another wheel kick from Chris Barnett. Exactly, bro. Exactly. Who do you think wins realistically in Jones versus Pereira fight? What is the method of victory do you think will occur? Probably John Jones by sub. Probably. Just because Jones is filled out to heavyweight now. And I think he could get Pereira down. And Pereira really hasn't fought that many guys with a takedown threat. Like, he's been taken down by Jan. He got his back taken down by Jan. But Jan isn't really a primary grappler. Jones can be a primary grappler if he wants to. He's done it before. I think he would probably take down Pereira and sub him. Who wins, Hayjive or Juliana Pena? Dude, I'm whooping that ass, bro. Come on now. You see those punches? I'll give you this. I'd probably hit her. I'd probably knock her down. But that Juliana Pena is a tough son of a bitch, bro. She takes some fucking shots. And it looks like she's about to go out cold. And she just wakes up right away. And it's like it didn't even happen. She's tough as fuck, bro. But I'd whoop her ass. Ank. Or she'd probably just get my back and sub me. Ank has ground and pound and he can just lay on him. And Alex doesn't have a great get-up game. Yeah, that's what I think too. Real talk, Hayjive. Do you think Royval could stop the takedowns from Tyra plus 170 looking real nice? I think he probably could. But I don't know, like, how confident I would be. I mean, he could. But am I super confident? Not really. It's not really like Tyra's going to be shooting, like, spamming takedowns, I don't think. But he'll pick his shots. And when he gets you down to the ground, his jiu-jitsu is really good. So it might even only take one to find a submission. And on the feet, Tyra's pretty solid. Royval, good cardio, good scrambles. But he also finds himself in some bad spots sometimes. So I'm kind of torn on that one, whether I want to go with the underdog or not. Do we ever get to see Alex versus Izzy again? I doubt it. Who do you think is the bantamweight GOAT? Cruz, TJ Aljo, O'Malley, Chris Moutinho. I'd say Moutinho, bro. Or, what's his name? I forgot his name. Guido Canetti. Guido Canetti, the dude that knocked out Chris Moutinho in the UFC. What's next for Khalil? Khalil got to take about a year off. I was actually thinking about this. Is there a possibility? Because I thought going into this fight, like this is Khalil's only chance. I don't think if he gets knocked out by Pereira again, or if he gets knocked out by Pereira in this fight, he's probably never going to fight for a title again. But then after the fight happened, how great of a fight it was and how Khalil won the first 2 rounds, I don't think there's any doubt that Khalil could get back to the title. No doubt. Because number one, if Pereira's the champion, that's already a fight that people love. People will love to see a rematch by Pereira and Roundtree. Maybe you don't put it at elevation just to like add to the factor of like, oh, Khalil's not going to gas out this time. Put it in like Las Vegas or something. But they've already had, they could rematch in the future, whether it's a year or 2 down the line. And light heavyweight's not really a deep division. So if Pereira leaves, that just opens up the opportunity again for him to get back to the title. So I think Khalil, take a good amount of time off, come back, look for a fight in the top ahead of you still, because you proved you could strike with the top guy in Alex Pereira. Look for a fight against a Yuri Prohaska. Look for a fight against a Jamal Hill or Jan Blachowicz. Look for one of those fights. Get a win in dominant fashion. Maybe you have to fight one more time, and then you're back for a title. I think Khalil's just 1 or 2 wins away from getting another shot at the title, honestly, because he's going to have to take some time off. There's going to be stuff that happens within that time off. Then pick your opportunity, capitalize on it, and he can get back to the title. There's no doubt about it. Feed Mario Batista to Aspinall, please. What do you think about the Usman call out? I thought it was another shit call out, but it makes sense. I take Usman in that fight. I thought it was a good call out. I think it was a good call out because Usman needs an opponent. And it's not like a lot of people calling out Usman. And if Usman wants to stay relative, he's got to keep fighting. I know he's doing his podcast and stuff, but got to keep fighting eventually, you know, if you want to keep your ranking. And Usman is beatable. He's older. So for Buckley, you get the name value of Usman and you get a weathered down Usman. I think it was a solid call out. And it's a name that people can respect. You know, you're calling out Kamaru Usman. Like, okay, this guy means business. Who do I think the bantamweight GOAT is? My bantamweight GOAT, TJ Dillashaw, bro. TJ Dillashaw. Thing that didn't make any sense was how Khalil wasn't using any kicks until the 3rd and 4th. Yeah, he had the high kick at the end of round 2. But, man, he's got to use those body and leg kicks. Yeah, I did realize that. Khalil wasn't throwing any kicks. And maybe it was just part of the way he assessed the fight to be like, my kicks probably aren't going to add up as much as like Pereira. Pereira is used to getting his legs kicked. And in the past, you know, when Khalil's fighting these guys, if he kicks their legs, they're going to feel it. Pereira's used to getting his legs kicked. So I think he probably just threw that out the window and was like, I got to get a knockout in the first couple rounds because I know my cardio is probably not going to hold up. I got to explode and just try to take his head off. And he went for it. He won the first 2 rounds, but Pereira survived and he took over. Merab is the bantamweight GOAT based on resume. Crazy, Tom. Crazy, bro. Crazy, bro. Chill out with that. Chill out. I don't completely disagree, though. Resume is pretty crazy. What else we have? Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland injury, that sucked. Kayla Harrison decision. Saw that one coming from a mile away. But knocking out Wonder Boy. Saw that one coming from a mile away. Sucks for Wonder Boy, though. Holy, he looked good. Wonder Boy looked good, but, you know, being at 41, you just can't take punches from these guys that are 30, 32 years old. Lucindo Rodriguez, who cares? Hernandez Hubbard, another split. Almeida Potieria, ref sucked. Span, subbing OSP. Not shocking. Tisha Pennington beating Carla Esparza. Some people didn't agree with that. The scorecards were all over the place. Terrible fucking scorecards, no matter the way you look at them. And then Court McGee. Shout out to Court, cashing as the dog. We cannot afford to lose, bro. We cannot. We got Contender Series on Tuesday. It's a good card. Boys, check out the Contender Series card for Tuesday. There's some good fights. I was watching tape today. There's going to be some good fights on Tuesday. And we got the Apex card. So you got to love that. But let's hop out of here, boys. I appreciate y'all for joining the Sunday Service, episode number 26. UFC 307 ended with a bang. I cannot thank those guys enough for Pereira and Roundtree just going at it. Will forever be grateful for that fight. I'm out. We'll be back here. Contender Series recap or breakdown, not a recap. Contender Series breakdown coming to the YouTube channel very soon. Official picks for UFC on Wednesday. Best bets show on Friday. Sunday Service on Sunday. I may pop in another live chat throughout the week as well. We'll see. But appreciate y'all for joining. Like and subscribe. Till next time. Hey, Job Picks. We out.